Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us.
Always exciting to be back.
So today we're going to be looking at financial literacy,
Oh, yeah.
and we're going to be taking excerpts from Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
That's a good one.
So if you're the kind of person who really loves to learn, but you don't always have a ton of time to read a whole book,
Yeah,
this is a good place to be
absolutely.
because we're going to break down the key takeaways of this book for you.
This is your shortcut.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I think is so interesting about this book is it's not just about the financial advice.
Right.
It's also a story.
Yeah, it's a story about this guy, the author, and how he learned about money from two different dads.
Uh-huh.
His own dad, who was, highly educated.
Like a PhD, right?
Yeah, PhD, but he struggled financially.
Yeah.
And then his friend's dad, the rich dad,
Yeah.
who didn't have a formal education, but he was very wealthy.
That's so interesting how those different backgrounds shaped their views on money, right? I mean, you think a PhD would be pretty set financially, but
You would think.
yeah.
But it really highlights that it's all about what you learn.
Yeah, and your upbringing.
Exactly. And the lessons you absorb about money
Absolutely.
really impact your life.
So let's dive into one of the most well-known stories from this book,
Okay.
the 10 cent an hour job story.
Yes.
So it all starts with this question of how do I get rich?
Yeah. Classic question.
And the author is 9 years old at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and he asks his dad,
Yeah.
and his dad gives him the classic advice, study hard, get good grades,
Get a secure job.
get a secure job.
Yes.
But Rich Dad has a different approach.
Rich Dad has a very different approach.
Mm-hmm.
He says, okay, I'll teach you about money,
Uh-huh.
but you got to work for me
That's good.
for 10 cents an hour.
10 cents an hour.
10 cents an hour. And he did this on purpose.
Yeah, to make them feel that frustration.
Yeah, to feel that frustration of working for very little money just to scrape by.
Yeah.
But he was setting the stage for a larger lesson.
Yeah. About the rat race.
About the rat race, exactly.
Such a good term, right?
Yeah.
It really captures that feeling of like, I'm working so hard, but
Sort of getting
anywhere, you're on a treadmill going nowhere.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
And that's what Rich Dad wanted them to understand.
Exactly. He wanted them to understand that it wasn't about earning more.
Yeah.
It was about understanding how money works.
And not having that employee mindset.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He wanted them to break free from that.
It was about thinking like entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah, it's like entrepreneurs.
Seeing money as a tool.
Yeah. As a tool to build something, not just trade your time for.
Exactly. And to do that, they needed to understand one of the key principles of the book.
Yeah. What's that?
The difference between assets and liabilities.
Assets and liabilities.
And he has such a clear definition of this.
Yeah, he really breaks it down simply.
Yeah, he says an asset puts money in your pocket.
Okay.
A liability takes money out of your pocket.
Simple as that.
It's simple, right? Yeah, but where does the mind-blowing part come in?
I know, right? Because that seems pretty straightforward. But it's
gets deeper.
deeper than that.
So one of the things he talks about is your house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, most people think their house is an asset,
Right. Yeah.
but Rich Dad argues it's actually a liability.
Sometimes.
Yeah, and he challenges that traditional view of homeownership.
And he even draws this diagram
Yeah,
in the book.
a simple diagram to show how money flows out of your pocket each month.
For your mortgage.
For your mortgage payments, your taxes, all the repairs, all the hidden costs that people don't often consider.
Yeah. And that could really shift how someone views buying a home.
Yeah, suddenly it's not just about owning a home.
Right.
It's about really analyzing the impact it has on your finances.
Absolutely. And speaking of mind shifts,
Yeah,
the boys actually end up quitting their 10 cent an hour jobs.
they do.
And Rich Dad even uses that as a teaching moment.
He does.
Right? Like quitting isn't the end.
Yeah.
It could be the start of something new.
He was encouraging them to find their own path to be proactive,
Yeah.
not just accept the rat race as their destiny.
And this leads to the story of the comic book library,
Yes, the comic book library.
which showed them that they could create their own income,
They learned about cash flow,
even as teenagers.
providing a service the ups and downs of running a business,
Yeah.
all outside the traditional job structure.
And this was before they could even drive.
Exactly.
So it really highlights that you can learn about this stuff at any age.
You can start building your financial literacy
Yeah.
at any age. And it also highlights one of the most important points of the book. The rich don't work for money.
Yeah.
They have money work for them.
That's so key.
It's a total mindset shift.
Instead of being dependent on a paycheck,
Yeah, you create systems.
you build things that generate income.
Exactly. And it all starts with understanding those fundamentals.
Right.
And Rich Dad really believed that financial literacy was the key to escaping that rat race and achieving true financial freedom.
And that's what we all want.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's what we're all striving for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we'll dive into more of these lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
It's great to be back.
You know, one thing that really struck me about this book
Yeah.
is the focus on teaching kids about money.
Yeah, he really emphasizes that, doesn't he?
Yeah, like Rich Dad really seemed to believe that this was like
Fundamental.
crucial
Yeah.
to like equipping the next generation
With them the tools.
with financial knowledge.
Yeah, and empower them
Yeah,
to navigate the financial world,
absolutely.
which can be really confusing.
Yeah.
So why not start them young, right?
Yeah, but let's be honest.
Okay.
Teaching kids about money,
Yeah.
it's not always the easiest thing.
It's not always the most exciting.
Not the most exciting topic, right?
Right.
So how did Rich Dad make it engaging?
Yeah. Did he have any tricks up his sleeve?
Yeah. Did he have any special strategies?
He wasn't about those dry lectures or complicated spreadsheets.
No, he kept it simple.
He kept it simple. He was all about learning by doing.
Yeah.
Remember that 10-cent an hour job?
Yeah.
He used that to illustrate,
Real world examples?
yeah, real world situations.
Uh-huh.
He used game stories.
That's like that saying, right?
What's that?
Tell me and I forget.
Teach me and I may remember.
Involve me and I learn.
Involve me and I learn. That's exactly it.
Yeah, he was always challenging those boys
Yeah.
to think critically.
He didn't just give them the answer.
No, he wanted it to come up
He wanted them to think for themselves,
with their own solutions.
to foster that financial independence.
That's so interesting because I feel like that's a real contrast between like what he was learning in traditional school
Yeah, big time.
and this kind of like mentorship.
Absolutely. You see the author's own father, the poor dad.
Yeah.
He was a school teacher.
Highly educated.
Yeah. Highly educated, believed in academic achievement.
Okay.
Ironically, he struggled financially.
So you have these two opposing viewpoints, right?
You've got poor dad saying, go to school,
Get a good job.
get a good job.
Yeah.
And then you've got rich dad saying,
You need financial literacy.
learn about money, be an entrepreneur.
And this created a dilemma for the author.
Oh, yeah, a real dilemma.
Right, because he respected his dad,
Of course he respected his dad.
but he was also really drawn to this entrepreneurial mindset.
To this new way of thinking.
Yeah.
And I think that's something a lot of people can relate to.
Yeah, you're trying to reconcile these two different worlds.
It's like two sets of rules.
Yeah.
Two different expectations.
And Rich Dad wasn't afraid to challenge the status quo.
No, he wasn't.
He even criticized the education system
He said it wasn't adequately preparing students
for the real world.
for the real world of finance.
Yeah, and that's a pretty bold stance to take.
Yeah, especially back then.
Right, because a lot of people
Especially parents.
think you need that job security.
Yeah.
And that steady paycheck.
The safe route,
Yeah.
the responsible route.
The Rich Dad was like,
Rich dad was like, no,
embrace the risk.
embrace the risk.
Calculated risk.
It's an opportunity for growth.
It's all about growth.
Yeah, and building wealth.
And even failure
He saw failure
as a valuable lesson.
as a learning experience.
Like, don't be afraid to fail.
Embrace it.
Which is so counter to
So countercultural.
how we were often raised.
Yeah, we're taught to fear failure.
But he's saying, no, it's part of the process.
It's part of the process.
Yeah.
And remember, this book isn't just about getting rich.
Yeah.
It's about taking control of your financial future.
Building a life of freedom.
Freedom, abundance.
Okay, so how did the author kind of
Navigate all this.
navigate these contrasting viewpoints?
Did he pick a side?
Yeah. Did he
Mhm.
choose one path over the other?
What's interesting is he kind of took what he found valuable
From both.
from both perspectives. He respected his dad's work ethic,
Yeah.
his commitment to education, but he also embraced Rich Dad's entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah, and that focus on financial literacy.
Exactly. And it's a good reminder that you don't have to completely reject one set of values
Right.
to adopt another.
It's about finding that balance.
Yeah, finding that balance.
Yeah.
And creating your own approach.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Okay, so let's get into some of the specific lessons
Okay, let's do it.
that Rich Dad imparted.
Yeah.
And one of his core principles
Mm-hmm.
was acquiring assets,
Assets. Yeah.
things that put money in your pocket.
Put money in your pocket.
But he didn't just mean like material possessions.
Yeah. No. He had a broader definition.
It was a much
Framework.
broader definition.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a little bit earlier,
Right.
how he viewed a house
Sometimes as a liability.
as a liability.
Not always an asset.
Yeah, it's all about
Cash flow.
cash flow.
Not just the perceived value.
Exactly. So what kinds of things
What did he recommend?
did he recommend investing in?
He recommended things like businesses,
Okay.
real estate stocks, bonds,
Anything that could generate
passive income.
passive income,
That means building wealth
even when you're not working.
when you're not actively working.
That's the dream.
That's the dream, right?
Yeah.
Having your money work for you.
Not the other way around.
Exactly. It's a total shift in perspective.
From trading your time for money
To building systems.
to building systems that generate income.
that generate income. Exactly.
And he believed that this was possible for anyone,
He believed it was achievable.
regardless of.
Income level or background.
He saw financial education as a key
As a powerful tool
to building wealth.
to break free from financial dependence.
Okay, so we've talked about assets.
Yes.
What about liabilities?
Liabilities, okay.
What did he consider to be liabilities?
So things like personal cars, expensive homes
Okay.
with big mortgages, consumer debt.
Things that take money out.
Things that drain your cash flow
Yeah.
and keep you tied to that rat race.
And it's interesting, right? Because a lot of these things
Yeah.
are seen as symbols of success.
Society tells us.
But he's saying, no, these are actually holding you back
Yeah, they can be roadblocks.
from true financial freedom.
Exactly. It's about looking beyond the surface.
Yeah.
And understanding the real impact
Of our choices.
of your choices on your finances.
Absolutely.
It's not about accumulating stuff.
Right.
It's about building a solid financial foundation
That supports your goals.
that supports your goals and your aspirations.
Okay, so apart from assets and liabilities,
Yeah.
did he have any other nuggets of wisdom?
Oh, he had plenty.
Okay, give me some more.
Another big one was financial literacy itself.
Okay.
Understanding how money works
Yeah.
is crucial for success.
So it's not just about memorizing facts and figures.
No, it's about understanding how money functions in the world and how to use it effectively.
So it's like a deeper understanding.
It's a deeper understanding,
Yeah.
and it's a lifelong pursuit.
It's not just something you learn in school and then you're done.
No, it's continuous learning.
This is really making me think about my own
Me too.
financial habits.
My own beliefs about money.
Yeah, and how we're all constantly learning
Yeah, we're all on a journey.
and evolving
It's not a destination.
our approach to money
And this book really does provide a roadmap
for anyone who wants to kind of break free from those
from those limitations
financial limitations.
and create a life of abundance.
Okay, so we're going to take a quick break.
Sounds good.
And when we come back, we're going to talk about this idea of the rich inventing money.
I love that concept.
So stay tuned. Welcome back to our final deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
It's been a great conversation.
It really has. We've covered a lot.
Assets, liabilities.
The importance of financial literacy.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one concept that I'm still kind of stuck on.
Oh, yeah.
This idea of the rich inventing money. What did Rich Dad actually mean by that?
It's such a powerful concept, right?
Yeah.
And it's not about literally printing your own money. It's more about seeing those opportunities
Okay.
that other people just don't see and using your financial intelligence to build wealth. It's like financial alchemy.
So like thinking outside the box.
Exactly.
Being creative with your finances.
it.
Did he have any like specific examples?
Oh, he did. He had stories.
Okay.
One that really stands out is how he acquired a piece of real estate
Okay.
without using any of his own money.
Wait, how is that even possible?
Right. You think you need a down payment?
Yeah, you need a bank loan.
That's the traditional way.
Yeah.
But Rich Dad was all about challenging that.
Okay.
So he found a property that was in foreclosure.
Right.
The bank was desperate to sell it, but
Yeah.
they couldn't find any buyers.
Okay, so he saw an opportunity?
He saw an opportunity and he went to the bank with a proposition.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
What was the proposition?
He said, I will take this property off your hands. I will manage it.
Okay.
But you have to finance the entire purchase.
Wow.
So he asked for the bank to basically give him the loan
Oh, the whole thing.
for the whole thing.
That's pretty risky.
It was a bold move.
Did they agree to it?
They did
Nice.
because they were so relieved to get this property off their books.
Okay.
And they had someone who was reliable,
Who could manage
who
it?
can manage it, improve it, increase the value.
It was a win-win.
It was a win-win.
He got this asset without spending any of his own money.
And the bank avoided a loss.
He saw an opportunity that no one else did.
He created wealth where others saw only risk.
So inventing money is about spotting those unique opportunities,
Using your knowledge
your resources.
to turn them into profitable ventures.
It's about being resourceful and strategic.
Exactly. And real estate was just one example.
Okay.
He also talked a lot about building businesses.
Okay.
He saw entrepreneurship as a path to freedom.
Okay.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, like when you're an employee.
You're trading your time for money.
Yeah.
But as a business owner, you can create something,
That generates income.
even when you're not working.
Yeah. That's the key.
That's the key.
Okay.
Rich Dad said you're building a system
That works for you.
that works for you, not the other way around.
And this wasn't just a theory for the author.
No?
He actually put these lessons into practice.
He did. He built successful businesses.
And he achieved financial independence.
At a young age, because of these principles,
That's inspiring.
it shows that this stuff really works.
It's not just like a fantasy.
No.
It can lead to real results.
If you apply yourself.
Okay, so we've got inventing money. We've got building businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Any other key takeaways from Rich Dad?
Oh, there's one more big one.
Okay.
It's overcoming obstacles.
Okay.
He said that setbacks and challenges
Yeah.
are inevitable on the path to success.
Everyone faces challenges, right?
Life is not a straight line.
Yeah. There are always bumps in the road.
Exactly. But he said successful people don't let those bumps stop them.
Yeah. They don't let the fear hold them back.
They learn from their mistakes.
They adapt.
They keep going.
You build resilience.
That's it. You develop that never give up attitude.
It's about seeing challenges as opportunities for growth,
Exactly.
not as reasons to quit.
And along with that resilience,
Yeah.
he stressed continuous learning.
Okay.
Always be learning.
Especially about finances.
Especially about finances, because the world is constantly changing.
It's so easy to think, okay, I finished school.
I'm done learning.
I'm done learning.
But the most successful people,
Are always learning.
they're lifelong learners.
Yeah.
And he encouraged people to seek out knowledge from everywhere.
Yeah.
Cooks, seminars, mentors.
Real world experiences.
Real world experiences take ownership of your education.
Wow. This has been a really eye-opening deep dive.
It's really made me question some of my own assumptions about money.
Yeah, me too.
What resonates with me the most is this idea of challenging conventional wisdom,
Yeah. And thinking for yourself.
breaking free from those limiting beliefs
That can hold us back.
financially.
And realizing that financial success.
It's not just about luck.
Yeah.
It's about making smart choices.
And taking control of your financial future.
And remember what Rich Dad said.
Yeah.
The moment you see one opportunity, you will see them for the rest of your life.
So keep your eyes open.
Stay curious.
And never stop learning.
That's the key.
Well, that's a wrap on our deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you enjoyed this journey with us.
And that you're inspired to create your own path to financial freedom.
Until next time, deep divers